The door doesn't slam behind you. It seals. And in that single second, you realize something nobody warned you about. The outside world didn't pause while you were getting arrested. Kept going. And it will keep going without you for a very long time. Your name is gone. Not symbolically. Literally. The officer behind the scratched plexiglass doesn't ask for your name. He asks for your DOC number. And you give it to him because you've already memorized it. Because survival started the moment those cuffs clicked. They process you for 4 hours. They take everything: wallet, belt, wedding band, a crumpled receipt from a gas station 3 weeks ago. They photograph it all, bag it, tag it, hand you a paper that says you'll get it back upon release. Upon release. Those 2 words are doing a lot of heavy lifting right now. They give you a uniform that doesn't fit because it was made for someone else. You are wearing the costume of a person who has been removed from the world. You walk to your housing unit and a steel door opens and noise pours out. Voices, a television, metal on metal, and every single man in that room looks up the moment you step in. Not with hatred, with calculation. They are reading you the way someone reads a weather report. You are new information in an environment where information is the only currency that matters. You have 48 hours, maybe less, to figure out where you fit. Because this facility has its own economy, its own government, its own laws. None of them are written down. All of them are enforced. And breaking them, even by accident, even out of ignorance, has consequences that will never appear in any official report. On day 3, a man sits across from you at dinner. Doesn't introduce himself. Eats for a minute. Then says, without looking up, "Where you from?" And something in the air shifts and you understand that question is not small talk. Your answer is going to define the next several years of your life. 6 weeks later, someone asks you to carry something across the unit during shift change. You don't ask what it is. You carry it. You deliver it. You walk away. Nobody says thank you. But 2 days later, when a conversation in the yard starts going wrong, someone is standing near you and somehow it doesn't escalate. You understand. You are being tested. And you are passing. This is what becoming part of something actually feels like. Not dramatic. Not violent. A series of small tests with no grades posted. You just notice that more people nod when you pass them. That a chair is available at a table that was full last week. You are learning the unspoken language of this place. How a man standing in a doorway can mean something has already been decided. How a guard changing his patrol route means a conversation happened without you. How a man laughing too loud is actually afraid. You are developing a pressure sensor for the emotional temperature of every room you enter. Because reading it wrong could cost you everything. 2 months later, you are in. The ceremony is brief and it hurts and you expected both. What you didn't expect is what comes after. Not pride, not relief, something more like gravity. Like you have weight now that you didn't have before. You walk into the cafeteria and the geometry of the room shifts. Path opens. You are no longer blank. But being in means you execute. You don't plan. You don't profit. You carry the risk while others carry the earnings. This is the oldest arrangement in organized crime and you are at the very bottom of it. What it gives you in return, you are never alone in a room anymore. That sounds small. In here, it is everything. Year 1 becomes year 2. You are managing logistics now. Product moving through 4 housing blocks. 2 correctional officers whose schedules you have memorized. Communication systems built into outgoing letters that read like family correspondence to anyone monitoring them. Because you designed them to read that way. You are running a supply chain from inside a concrete box and it functions. Because you think 3 steps ahead of everyone in this building, including the people who work here. Year 3, you become a lieutenant. And managing men in this environment teaches you something they don't teach anywhere else. You cannot lead through fear alone because fear creates resentment and resentment creates informants. You lead through being consistently the most intelligent person in the room and letting people figure that out themselves. You lead through fairness. Because fairness in a place this chaotic is so rare that the men who deliver it consistently become irreplaceable. Men start coming to you with disputes that have nothing to do with operations. Debts, accusations, disrespect that demands a response but where the response would cost more than the original offense. You listen. You ask questions. You render a judgment. Final. No appeal. And somehow the judgments land. You think sometimes about what skill this is, This ability to cut through noise to find what is actually true in a conflict. You think about where else it might have taken you. Then you stop. That thought doesn't go anywhere useful. Year 6. Your name exists beyond this facility now. You didn't build the reputation intentionally. You can't build something like this intentionally. It collapses if you try. It grew because of sustained, consistent decisions made over years in an environment designed to destroy both intelligence and will. Younger men who have never met you know your name. You are careful about this. A reputation this size is a target. Year 8. No ceremony. Something just shifts in how the men around you move and speak and defer. And the shift is total, unanimous, and instant. You are the boss. Not because anyone handed you the position. Because it became obvious to everyone at the same time. 14 months ago, the doors opened. You walked through them into a morning that smelled different from anything in 11 years. Not better, just different. Air without recycled heat. Wind from an actual direction. And you stood outside holding a garbage bag, a bus ticket, and $200 in an envelope, feeling something you still can't name accurately. Not joy, not relief, something more disorienting. Like the angle of the floor had shifted slightly and the new angle wasn't wrong, just completely unfamiliar. The city had changed. Of course it had. But you weren't ready for how personal the change would feel. Prices you can't make sense of. Phones that look like something from a film you watched before you went in. The 1,000 invisible social scripts that civilians run without thinking. None of them load automatically for you anymore. You run them manually, consciously, and it costs energy that most people spend on nothing. You work at a warehouse now. You lift things, move them, go home exhausted in a way that is completely different from the exhaustion of incarceration. It's clean. That's the only word for it. Your daughter called 3 months ago. You almost didn't pick up, didn't recognize the number. She said your name. Her voice sounds like someone who has done a lot of work to become a person. You talk every 2 weeks now. 15 minutes. Carefully. Like you are both rebuilding something that has no original blueprint. You are proud of her in a way that has no convenient place to go. You don't tell her that yet. Somewhere tonight, a judge is handing down a sentence to someone who doesn't understand what the numbers mean yet. They will be processed, given a number, walk down a hallway while men calculate who they are. They have no idea what they are walking into. No idea of the world that exists completely inside those walls. Its own laws, its own hierarchy, its own version of justice that operates entirely separately from the one that just sentenced them. Nobody understands it until they live it. That's the cost of the education. You hope they find something in their worth carrying out. You hope they get the chance.